make more effective use of this 1 hour.
Of last year, we had a record turnout of voters at election. The current legislature clearly enjoys the support of within the community. It is clearly designed.
Once you've done this interview, these are your colleagues. I'm sorry to have to say this to you.
Well, Deng Xiaoping was the architect of this one country, two systems policy, which of course can only work if China were to trust the Hong Kong people to run our own affairs without intervention from China. Now, that was a very great idea at the time, although it was not easy to implement. But unfortunately, in recent years, the Chinese government has actually departed from that course so carefully charted by Deng Xiaoping. And now the key word of Beijing's policy on Hong Kong is control, which is exactly the opposite of what Deng Xiaoping had in mind in 1984.
呢幅張大千嘅畫嚟嘅，張大千嘅畫嚟。點解呢度咁樣關咗咁？
I hope that the Chinese leaders would take stock of the whole situation and go back to the original way, original route charted by Deng Xiaoping, so that history will say that the regaining of sovereignty over Hong Kong under Deng was a great success.
这辆装甲车被路障阻拦后，暴徒爬上装甲车向里面砸石块。他们抓住下手。
I think people would certainly say that he was at least partially to blame there, and therefore, I hope the Chinese leadership will soon re-evaluate that whole affair. Instead of calling it an act of counter-revolution or act of subversion, they should call that an act of patriotism on the part of the students, because they were trying their best to save the country by eradicating corruption and Kwanzi, which is relations, or nepotism and so on. And that is, of course, something which has to be done, and the sooner it is done, the better it is, not only for China, but for Hong Kong, because that is the one thing which still causes a lot of problem in Hong Kong. So many people have, of course, during those months, participated in support of the movement in Beijing.